Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'll give you all some time to connect your audio, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so want to welcome you all to today's Discovery Series. My name is Maya Lloyd, and I am the Student Career Program Manager for the Offices of Experiential Learning and Career Services here at CUNY School of Public Health. Today, we are going to have a very special presentation on the Cancer Epidemiology Education in Special Populations Program, which is an NIH NCI grant-funded research training program developed in 2006 by the CUNY School of Medicine to foster public health careers in cancer epidemiology and cancer prevention and control. So today we're going to hear from the program's principal investigator, Dr. Solomon, and from two students who actually completed the program. Well, one is now an alum of the school and a current student, Maria, and our alum from the EpiBios program, Emmanuel. So these two students will speak with us about their time in the program and conducting research abroad. We'll have time for Q&A at the end of the presentation, but you can put any questions that you may have in the chat in the meantime. Then after the session, you're going to receive this recording in an email through Handshake, along with some important resources. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Solomon.
Thank you, Maya, and thank you for all your effort arranging this session. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be with you today to talk about the Cancer Epidemiology Education in Special Populations Program, or the CEESP program, the short name. As Maya mentioned, this program has been funded by the National Cancer Institute for 19 years. This is year 19. And we have trained over 250 students through this program. So I'm going to give you a quick overview about the program, and then you're going to hear from Maria and Emmanuel about their experiences. Then we'll be happy to answer any questions. So this program is to prepare students to learn about cancer and public health in different populations. So you could be proposing a domestic project in New York City or in the US or in a foreign country. And the idea of this grant, and that's why the National Cancer Institute pays this money, is to make students get the exposure to cancer and see if they are interested in cancer and if they want to pursue careers, education, or employment in cancer-related jobs. This program is not for epidemiology students only. This program is open to all public health students, and this program is open to all students from all over the United States. So any student from any school or program of public health is eligible to apply and receive funding. So this is very competitive program. And if you want to consider this program, you need to start now, because if you're going to come by the deadline or late in January, that will be late. So ideally, we wanted to have first-year MPH students. Maria proved us wrong because she was not first-year MPH student, and she was one of our great success stories. So I think we're going to recalculate our formula depending on Maria's experience. PhD students can come at any stage, DRPH students, MS students, any public health students with or without experience in foreign countries or special populations. We are interested in a diverse group of students from backgrounds, racial and ethnic minorities, and different group of students from different backgrounds. This is the timeline of the program. So the recruitment is the period from September to January. If you are interested, contact me, send me an email, and let's talk about how you can formulate your ideas. You learn about what we have, we learn about what you want to do, and then we make a story about your small proposal, which is one-page proposal. And then we select the applicants by end of February. They work on their IRB and ethics approval, and then they go to the field, whether it's domestic or international, from May to August. Then we bring them back We have a post-summer career development workshop where they present what they did during the summer, and we talk about further education for them and also employment. So these are the countries that we have strong infrastructure in. We don't want to send students in places where the mentors don't know the nature of our program and how they can help the students. It doesn't mean that if you are interested in a country that's not listed on this chart or slide, that we don't send you to this country. So if you're going to show us that you have a strong case, you're going to be productive, we can consider other countries. You can also propose studies in the US if you don't want to do an international study. That's what we talk about in the post-summer career development workshop, how to help the students finalize their summer project, how to publish, how to learn about scientific writing, how to improve their CV, how to apply for jobs, and how to think about issues that you don't learn about in real academic life, like negotiating salaries, negotiating the scope of work, different issues that can help you in the future. This program is about cancer, but it's also about public health. So students learn about different fields of public health, from infectious disease to social epidemiology to women's health, different aspects for public health, because in the beginning, you are public health students. Whether you're going to continue in cancer or not, this is to be seen. These pictures were from the post-summer career development workshops, and this is one-on-one meetings with the students and faculty and group meetings. We invite alumni, they talk about their journey and how they started with this program and how they are accomplishing their careers now. We have a newsletter for the program where we publish. You see Emmanuel here in the center, and we talk about the outcome of the summer experience with the students. So the application process is contacting me. You complete a short inquiry application form, and we talk about how you prepare your proposal and presentation and how you can move forward if you are interested in this program. If you are selected in this program, you'll get $7,200 or more. But this is the average 72. Some students get more, some students get less, depending on the nature of the project and whether the students will work full-time or part-time. If you are from outside New York City, we pay also for you to come to the post-summer career development workshop. We pay for the students to go to conferences and present their work. And we have all the videos of all past students since 2006 posted on the website of the program. So I encourage you to review the videos, watch what the students did, see what you like, and contact me if you are interested in talking about opportunities for you. I'll stop here and I'll leave it to Maria and Emmanuel to talk about their experiences.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I'll be talking to you guys about just my experience this summer. So, like Dr. Solomon said, I was a CEESP student here, and I went to Columbia in 2024, so just a few months ago. And yeah, just a little bit about me. I am an MPH student in the Epi and Biostat department here at CUNY SPH, and I'm on my last semester. So technically, I'm in my third year, but yes. So let's see. So yeah, today I'll be talking to you guys kind of about just in general, like a little overview about my project, the process of finding my mentor, Dr. Garces, the application process overall, my time in Columbia, as well as just my overall learning experience. So just an overview of my project. So this summer I worked on like a project that assessed cancer mortality by ethnicity. And this was just something that had never been done before in Colombia. So, just very exciting work. We used vital statistics data that's publicly available, as well as census data. And with that, we calculated mortality rates and just assessed like joint point regression trends over time, just to see if there was any differences in, cancer mortality in the different ethnicities that we were looking at. So of course, to accomplish this, I had to find the right mentor. And I came across Dr. Garces, who had a lot of experience working with underserved populations in the United States and Colombia. I knew coming into this that I wanted to work, in Latin America, like in a global, like health kind of sense, or, with Hispanic communities here in the United States, just because, I feel passionate about that. So I found Dr. Garces and all her success stories with other students. As you can see here, Emmanuel, who's also going to be talking about his experience. He also went to Colombia. Almira and Diana, and they were in the 2023 cohort, and they also went to Colombia. And yeah, all of them had really, really interesting like projects that I felt like lined up with the things that I would want to do. So that's why I ended up choosing, being interested, expressing my interest in working with Dr. Garces. So the application process, like Dr. Solomon, the first thing that you have to do is contact him. So I just basically sent him an email and just introduced myself and, express my interest in the program. Just generally like giving him like, an overview of what I would want to do, and, that I would like to potentially work with Dr. Garces. So after I talked to Dr. Solomon, he connected me to Dr. Garces, and she was just a really like great, amazing mentor. She took the time to just kind of help me identify like a gap in the literature, and that's how I came up with the topic of like cancer mortality in ethnic minorities. So like Dr. Solomon said, I would recommend that you contact him as soon as possible, because I think what really set me as like apart from other students is that I reached out to him and I was able to work with them, both Dr. Solomon and Dr. Garces, in my proposal. And that's, just getting that feedback just, helps you really have a solid like research proposal. It's really short, it's only 1 page long, but you want to make sure that you get like your point across on, what you want to do, that you put thought into it, and yeah, that sort of thing. So yeah, when I was selected, I of course had the opportunity to go to Colombia, and I was selected with one other student who's pictured here. Her name's Sophia. So in case I mention her name, that's who I'm talking about. So we did rent an Airbnb together, and our main method of transportation was Ubers, which were super affordable where we were staying in Medellin. And our meetings were mostly, just weekly meetings with Dr. Garces. If we needed to meet with her, she was usually available to meet with us more than just once a week. But we had a lot of communication with her through like WhatsApp text messaging, as well as Outlook. So just, just a very productive time, just being like away and just being there, present, working on my project. And, yeah. So Dr. Garces also just monitored closely the things that we were working on. So anything as far as like data management, data analysis, just writing the manuscript, she was always there to just kind of hold my hand and answer any questions. So yeah, I couldn't recommend her as a mentor enough, but I'm sure that there's many other mentors that are really just as great as her. So yeah, in my overall learning experience, well, I think that one of the most important things that I learned from this was analytical skills. This was my first time working with such a large data set. I was looking initially at like millions of a data set of millions of people, which we later narrowed down to 500,000, like approximately 500,000 cancer cases. And I used tools like SPSS, EpiDat, JoinPoint, all to kind of, conduct this analysis. So I also gained skills in those, programs as well. And then I also think that this is just really, it was a valuable experience in like a global health perspective, because I was able to learn so much about the Colombian healthcare system and just kind of draw comparisons on how it's different from here, and, some of its strengths, some of its weaknesses. So yeah. So yeah, like Dr. Solomon also said, I have practiced a lot of public speaking through this program. And I know that can be a little bit intimidating, but I think it's been a great like thing, to just be able to get out of my comfort zone. And the first time that I had to, speak in front of all the other students was at the post-summer workshop. And we were able to just kind of talk about our projects and, what we were doing this summer and where we were at in our project, as well as the International Cancer Education Conference. That's only, so a few people, and that's, I think everybody pictured in here was the people that got selected from this cohort to go to the cancer conference. And we were able to present so our projects as well as just our mentee experience. And some of us got to present posters as well. So super valuable opportunity. and also just a great networking opportunity. So yeah, we like, now some of us are friends, you know, you get to really get to know each other and each other's projects, and you also get to know people in the field. So if, you know, I think that's a great thing about this program. But I think the most important thing that I got out of CEESP, or being a CEESP research fellow, was just writing a manuscript. You know, I don't think that you get the opportunity to write like a manuscript from start to finish with like constant guidance and feedback, you know, and, you know, then be able to learn about the publication process and everything that comes with that. It's, you know, it can be intimidating for us as master's students. So it was just a great opportunity for me to just learn about it. And now my manuscript has been officially submitted to the International Journal of Public Health. So hopefully, you know, we'll be hearing back soon, any, like, you know, about with our reviewers. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Thank you, Maria. This is great. And you are the first author on this submitted paper, right? You are not just one of the co-authors. You are the owner and the leader and the chair of this experience.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. Emmanuel.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmanuel. I did my CEESP experience also in Colombia. I was an MPH student at the time. Also at CUNY-SPH, I was doing my MPH in epidemiology and biostatistics. Oops. Okay. So what my project consisted of, we were analyzing prostate cancer mortality between 2006 and 2020, also using publicly available data set published by the the Administrative Department of National Statistics, which is essentially the the census in Colombia. This was a secondary data analysis, and one of the things that I did the most during my time in CEESP, since I was actually the first student to do their project in Colombia, and also connect with Dr. Garces and go like, into the Colombian healthcare system to do this project. I was also in charge of gathering these data sets and cleaning them. So I remember, because since these data sets, they have a lot of information, a lot of variables, so you have quite a lot of possibilities to do projects that build up on projects that we did, or even start your own project. These variables can cover everything from ethnicity to if the deceased individual is a foreigner or a Colombian citizen. What is the primary, secondary cause of death, in addition to many sociodemographic variables. And it's not an exaggeration when I say this, but once I combine these 15 years worth of data sets, there was around 2 million entries. But after cleaning them cleaning them, we managed to narrow it down to, in our case, to 41,298 cases. And we did and our main objective, so in addition to studying prostate cancer mortality, was seeing if a 2012 ruling by the Ministry of Health had an impact in mortality rates. So in 2012, what happened was that the Ministry of Health ruled that individuals who were associated or affiliated, to the public health regime, they would receive the same quality and the same benefits as individuals in the private health insurance. By people who are affiliated to the private health insurance. So these were my mentors during my time at CEESP. At the top, Dr. Garces Palacio, right there at the School of Public Health at the University of Antioquia in Medellin. And my on-campus mentor at the bottom was Dr. Chamberlain, two mentors that I am extremely grateful for all their support and all their guidance, and just being there for me when I needed it. So the main findings from this study were basically that there was a significant increase in the mortality rates among people who were affiliated to the public health insurance. Those who then, and among those, sorry, this should be a private, not public at the bottom, but basically there was a non-statistically significant decrease followed by a non-statistically significant increase among people affiliated to the private health insurance. And of course, this is referring to the mortality rate. So I apologize for that typo. My experience in Colombia, this was very, very rewarding, and rewarding is probably an understatement. Even though I am fluent in Spanish, it was an amazing opportunity to learn epidemiology in another language. It was also a great opportunity to learn about the healthcare system and how it is carried out in Colombia, and also just working with the guidance of Dr. Garces Palacio, just getting that experience of going abroad, doing a project from start to finish is something that's very hard to describe. And overall, with my CEESP experience, so as I did mention, cleaning and organizing these extremely large data sets, I also had the opportunity to learn new statistical programs and new statistical procedures that I was never exposed to in my MPH and was actually never exposed to during the time until I got into CEESP. So I worked extensively with SPSS, QGIS for making mortality maps, and joint point regression. We also learned, it was also great to learn about opportunities in cancer epidemiology, because I know that people tend to think that when they enter epidemiology specifically, they tend to mostly think, for instance, about infectious disease, but there's a lot more in epidemiology than just infectious disease. When I coming into the program, I was actually still undecided on my research interests. I was like all over the place, but being exposed to CEESP, I knew that from this moment that, and I still am very interested, and I am pursuing in my career in cancer epidemiology. This is also an amazing opportunity to learn about the process of submitting a manuscript, everything from the ideation of your idea, so meeting with Dr. Solomon, connecting with Dr. Garces Palacio, like fleshing out your idea, presenting it to the advisory committee, and then going from there to Colombia and working on this from start to finish, drafting your manuscripts, and then going to revise your manuscripts, and then submitting this to a potential journal, also replying to editors to see what they want clarification on, what they think should be explained better, and how we can refute arguments if they say that something does not make sense, but in reality it does. And I would say one of the main advantages of this program is also being able to publish your research findings. So my research was actually published a little more than a month ago in BMC Public Health. So it was just a very rewarding experience. And if I could say, like, with one word that can describe CEESP, definitely it would be transformative, because you learn everything. So you learn about another healthcare system. You're supported by mentors, even by peers in the instances that you have more than one person doing their CEESP research at the same country that you are, or in the same state if you decide to do it here in the US. It's very inspiring to see how, and very life-changing, because you get to see how your work has the impact to improve health outcomes or healthcare access and equity. And it also teaches you to like really think big. Like, you're in this is a competitive program, but it's very rewarding, because think about how many people apply and then you were selected, and how you were able to like practice like your public speaking, your data analysis skills, and also just do things that you won't be able to do necessarily in an MPH, such as like, because you don't always have the opportunity, but here you actually have the opportunity to publish a manuscript. So definitely anyone who wants to do a PhD, I would highly suggest having a manuscript published by the time you apply, which is a major advantage. So yeah, if anyone wants to do their work in Colombia, I highly suggest working with Dr. Garces Palacio. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. And I want to mention a few points before we start receiving the questions. The first point is that this program does not require US citizenship. So you could be a foreign student and apply and receive funding from this program. If you are an MPH student, you can use the experience for your practicum, or you can just get a research experience if you finished your practicum. You can do the project also if you are a PhD student to think about your dissertation or to gain research experience. It happens that we have two students who went to Colombia, but we have other CUNY SPH students who did domestic studies in New York cities and other cities, and students who went to Tanzania and Egypt. In addition to the data analysis, you learn about managing large data set. You learn about dealing with incomplete and inconsistent data. You learn about the healthcare system of the country. You learn about clinical medicine and management and prevention of diseases. And you learn also about applications from cancer to other diseases. And also, uh, uh, whether you are interested in cancer or not, give it a chance and see what you are interested in and how this could be linked to cancer or not. We'll stop here and would be happy to take any questions. Feel free to ask any questions.
Hi. Thank you both for your presentations. It's made me even more excited and galvanized to apply for this program. But I guess I'm just wondering, I know Maria, you're still finishing your semester. Well, I have two questions. Maria, you're still finishing your semester, and Emmanuel, I'm curious what you guys are doing now and if this program prepared you for whatever it is you're doing now. And then this might more be a question for Amir, but if you do go abroad, do you suggest that you already know the language or speak the native language, or could that be a potential, like another learning experience part of the research?
So let me start by the language issue. For Colombia, you need to be fluent in Spanish. Um, this is not going to work for students who are not fluent or very committed to learning about Spanish. So we had one student who was not native Spanish speaker, but she did very well, but she was eager to learn about Spanish in the country. Our analysis of the data showed that knowing the language is not a predictor of success. So there are many other parameters that would make the experience productive. Language was not one of them. I'll leave it to Maria and Emmanuel for answering the questions.
Yeah, as far as your question as to what I'm doing right now, I mean, other than submitting, my manuscript and just kind of, waiting for responses, I decided to apply for a PhD program. So, and I think that was definitely this experience was definitely a factor into me wanting to go more into research long term. And actually, one of my research interests is going to be cancer epi. So, yeah, I definitely think it's worth just trying out, see if you like cancer epi. I know that my the girl that I worked with, Sophia, the other student, she was more interested in maybe reproductive health, and she did a cervical cancer study, and ended up really loving the field of cancer epi. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
So thank you for your question. So again, with my experience, I just fell in love with cancer epidemiology, and it is something that I plan to do. I'm currently applying for PhD programs, and the programs, or I should say the specific epi field that I will be going hopefully into, would be cancer epidemiology and global health. This program just reinforced the notion that that like my passion is global health, and thanks to the program, it's also cancer epidemiology. And in terms of what I do now, I'm actually an adjunct lecturer at the CUNY School of Medicine, teaching an undergraduate intro to epidemiology class.
Other questions?
There is a question in the chat. There's actually two questions, but they're pretty similar. So if there's a limit to how many students are selected each year and yeah, how many spots are available.
As I said in the beginning, this is very competitive program, but if you don't try, you don't get. So each year we get between 165 and 175 applicants. We have 22 slots, so we select the top 22 students each year out of the 160 to 175. So success rate is about 15%, but there are different parameters of how the committee, we have a committee made of senior professors of public health. Two of the committee members are from CUNY School of Public Health, and we interview the top applicants. Each one will have 30 minutes to present the proposal that will be converted into a PowerPoint presentation in 15 minutes. And then you will have discussion with the committee in 15 minutes. Then the committee will score the applicants, will discuss each applicant and each project, and we want to make sure that this is going to be a productive, good learning experience for you, and also a good success story for the program.
Okay, and then another question that just came in is how are students selected? I guess what does that look like in terms of maybe applications that you pick versus ones that you don't?
Okay, great. So we, as I said, we get about 165, 175 applications. So the reviewers review and rank all the applications. So we take the top 50% of applicants that scored well in the top 50%, and we interview all these students. So we spend 3 days nonstop interviewing students back to back. And the reviewers rank the students, score the students, and then we take the top 22 students to fund. So the criteria for success in this program is having a small project. It doesn't need to be ambitious, large project. A small project that we feel that you're going to learn something new from this experience, that you have the skills to do this project, and that you will develop a future career based on your learning experience, that you have the mentorship from the foreign country or the off-campus side, and also from the US side. So you have the mentorship, that this project doesn't have issues with IRB or ethics approval, so you don't spend the summer running after IRB approval, and that you are enthusiastic and motivated, and the committee would feel that you're going to be successful. Other questions?
Yes, we have, oh, there's more coming in here. So our first question was about selecting a specific country. So you mentioned that there are specific countries we can choose from, but that we are not limited to those countries. Would our chances of getting picked reduce if we choose a country outside of the ones that are available? And how do
So
students go
you
about
can
doing
come
that?
with a country that we are not in, and you tell me how you're going to be productive in this country that we did not develop infrastructure in. You want to show me that you have strong connections, that the mentors there are committed, and this will be a success story. So that's how we consider other countries. There was a question about health policy and health management, and how students can develop projects related to health policy and health management. Yes, we had students from CUNY SPH who did projects related to cost benefit and cost effectiveness of interventions. They did evaluation of program management and program delivery. So there are different projects related to health management and policy, and it's very timely topic for many studies in domestic or international studies. Other questions?
So I have a question actually,
Yep.
to I guess go off of what you just said in terms of, we know that this program is open to all concentrations. So I guess, do you have any examples of where you might see students that are not in epidemiology that are coming to
Yes.
your program and what types of projects they do?
Definitely. Students from health behavior, health education, or community health, they work on community interventions. They work on cultural and behavioral barriers to screening or cancer management. So I think students don't need to come up with a specific research question. Contact me and we'll develop the research question together. See the videos of past students also, and each of the student will includes a slide about ideas for future students. So, because the summer period is short, many students continue from where previous students ended. So, look into this slide of ideas for future students and see if you are interested in one of these ideas. And maybe that student was an epidemiology student, but you are a community health student, or you are a health policy or health management student. So contact me and we'll talk about how this epidemiology project could be packaged into an idea for students from other fields. Other questions?
Hey, there is a question about any training that has been done in Haiti.
So you asked me about how we select the students. We had students in the past who proposed projects for Haiti, and they were not able to travel because of the situation there. We had students who worked on the Haitian population in the US, in Florida, and in other cities. And this is the plus. If you speak the language, if you are interested in the population, think about populations, Haitian population in the US. This grant and program is funded by the NCI. So we get approval from the funding agency about the travel of the students. So if you want to go to a high risk place like Haiti now, things could change. But for now, this is not going to be approved by the funding agency. It may not be approved even by CUNY because of safety and security for the students.
Okay.
So how do you select a specific country? So it comes from two areas. One area is that you are personally interested in going to country X and you want to go to this country. Tell me why you are interested in this country. Or see the videos of past students on the website and see what you like based on the students' presentations. So you'll have so many students going to different countries and see how they talk about the country, their learning experience. And students usually go in groups. So you could be going with other students. You could be going to students from CUNY or from other universities, but it's also a great opportunity for networking, getting to know other students from your school or from other schools. So it's a process of discussion and back and forth. So contact me and let's talk about your interests. Other questions? Anything in the chat that we didn't address?
No, I think we addressed everything. Does anyone have any other questions? I would like to hear just like last few words from all three of you, just in terms of, I guess, just a last word of encouragement for students that might be interested in applying for the program, or maybe they're kind of on the fence. So giving those final words. But if any other questions pop up, I will put those out there as well.
So maybe we start with Maria and Emanuela, and then I'll finish.
Yeah, I think my advice and my encouragement to everybody is, well, I think that imposter syndrome is real. When you hear that this program is very competitive, you get kind of intimidated. But in reality, I think that everybody's so supportive, including Dr. Solomon. So as long as you kind of are enthusiastic about a topic, or you come up with an idea with with guidance from a professor, then I think you can really make that into a solid proposal, and just really get across the fact that you're going to do well in the project, and that you're happy to learn, excited about what you're going to be doing. And that's a huge bonus, and I think that they're looking for that kind of motivation. So yeah, definitely contact Dr. Solomon as soon as you can, and get as much feedback from your advisor, your potential field advisor, as well as him. Yeah.
Thank you. Emmanuel?
I agree with everything Maria said. I would also add that just a couple of things. So first of all, remember, just because you're not doing your master's in EpiBios does not mean you cannot apply. Like I remember in my cohort specifically, from those that were selected from SPH, we had a student who was in community health. Another student was in the PhD track in community health and health policy. So just like, don't feel scared just when you hear cancer epidemiology, just for EpiBios. It's for everyone. Like, apply, do not feel afraid. And as Maria said, like, reach out to Dr. Solomon to help begin your proposal, and reach out to any potential advisors. It's very beneficial. You will get a stronger proposal, and you will also get to see like what you're like more interested in. Like, maybe one day you're interested in one specific form of cancer, and like the next day, well, that's not for me. And the advisor can help you work with another form of cancer that they may have more familiarity with. So definitely just like reach out. Everyone's there for your support. I'm sorry, everyone is there to support you. So yeah, just the only way to know if you're going to get in is apply. Don't feel intimidated by the program and its competitiveness.
I want to say thank you, Emmanuel. I wanna say that start early. I think you heard it from Maria and Emmanuel. Start early. Start now if you want to consider this program. You may not be interested in cancer. I can assure you that 90% of the students who applied and were funded from this program were not interested in cancer, but now they work in cancer-related fields. Also, you may not be very much decided on what you want to do. And this is the idea of back and forth and discussion and so on. It's a case by case development of the proposal. So even if students I think I'll give example of Emmanuel and Maria. They have strong links with Colombia. And I didn't say no because I knew they will be successful in Colombia. But when I talked with other students and they talked about a specific country, I would say you're going to develop your career better if you go to another country. So it's a case by case development of the project. So I think that's my last point. And feel free to email me, email Emmanuel, email Maria if you want to talk about their experiences in Colombia. And any last questions?
Yes, we did have one more pop up in the chat that talked about the actual funding. So what that financial support looks like, if someone would need to keep a job while they're doing this research, what type of financial assistance really is there?
That's also case by case. So we had students who said, I wanted to keep my job 50% of time and do this 50% of time. So they got 50% of the subsistence. So that was one experience. Students, if they did foreign travel, most students saved money because the ticket and living expenses are not very expensive. So many students saved money out of this experience. And financial arrangements, we have $7,200 for each student. But as I said, it could be considered in different arrangements, more or less, depending on the project and the student commitment.
Okay, and another question popped up. Is it a short program, or can it be specific if anyone wants to continue? I guess if you want to continue with the program afterwards. Shamanti, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I think this is an excellent question. So we have also the flexibility of funding students more than once, depending on the situation of the student. So Emmanuel, Maria would be eligible to apply and have another CEESP slot if they get acceptance into a PhD program. I know they are not going to start their PhD program before summer 2025, but they are eligible if they have acceptance into a PhD program to do another study, whether they want to go back to Colombia, do another extension of their research, do another experience, but we have flexibility for up to 25% of the slots for returning students.
Okay, great. That's good to know. Okay.
Thank you,
Anything
Maya. This
else?
is great.
Yes. No,
Thank you.
this was awesome. Thank you all so much for being here and presenting on the program. I will say I think this is my second time hosting a discovery series for CEESP, and every time the students that speak, you can genuinely tell that they liked what they were doing. You know, it's a genuine feeling that it was very rewarding for them and they felt extremely supportive. So that definitely talks to a lot of the work that you also do, Dr. Solomon. So thank you. For everyone that joined us here today, you will receive a handshake email afterwards with the recording and additional resources. I did put Dr. Solomon's email in the chat as well, but you'll have that afterwards. I also put a link for an evaluation survey if you can fill that out and just let us know what you thought about today's session. But other than that, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good day.
Bye.